Can we approach people?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name for the record?
My name is Officer Widy Jean, Jean.
And where do you work?
I work with the Boynton Beach Police Department.
How long have you worked there?
I've worked for the police department for about 12 years. I left for 1 year and came back. There's a gap in service.
When was that?
That was in the year 2010, I believe.
And what was the reason for your departure?
I left to start a business in Atlanta.
Okay. So it had nothing to do with your police work?
No, it didn't.
And are you back there now?
Yes, I am.
What's your current title?
I'm a police training officer currently.
When you say a police training officer, what does that mean?
My responsibility is to train new officers that are hired. They go through a phase of in-house training where we teach them things like firearms and defensive tactics. And also, we also do field training where they go through a period of learning what to do on the road as far as what their job tasks are going to be like.
Okay. Now, how did you become involved in this case?
During the year 2009, I was assigned to a unit in the police department called the Community Action Team, the CAT unit, and our duties involved investigations and undercover operations into crimes related to narcotics, prostitution, and gambling.
Okay, so when you were on the CAT team, is a lot of your work undercover?
Majority of my work was undercover.
And working in an undercover capacity, were the bulk of the cases you worked, were you the undercover agent, or were you working directly with the CI? What was the bulk of your investigations?
Majority of my investigations involved me personally operating as an undercover officer, and other cases where I was the lead agent where I had to control a confidential informant.
And who selected you to be the undercover agent or undercover officer in this case?
In this current case, I was contacted by my supervisor at the time, Sergeant Bonnefaire, and he informed me that the Detective Bureau, which is another division in our police department, needed assistance with an undercover operative, and they selected me to be that undercover operative.
Okay. And prior to this case when you were the undercover officer, roughly how many times would you say you've acted in the capacity of an undercover agent?
Between at least 30 to 50 times where I've had to pose as a, for example, a drug dealer or a person buying drugs or a person posing for gambling purposes or a person posing as far as certain prostitution investigation will entail.
Had you ever posed as a hitman before?
No, I have not.
So this was a new role for you?
This was my first time, yes.
Okay. And when you were contacted by Sergeant Bonifair, did he inform you what was going on, or did he put you in touch with the detective bureau?
He did not give me any details as to what was going on. It was pretty much quite strict. You're needed in D Bureau and go there right now.
And who did you meet with?
I went there and met with Detective Alex Marino, who was the lead detective in the case.
And what were you informed was going on? Offer for the effect on the listener?
Approach for a minute.
Okay, based on your meeting with Detective Moreno, were you then going into action as the undercover agent to pose as a hitman in this case?
Excuse me, I'm fighting a cold. Apologize. The meeting pretty much was what we call a briefing, where they give you certain details and general idea what the case is about. And then during that meeting, Detective Marino, along with other officers that were involved in the case, told me, hey, this is going to be your role.
Strike the comments by Detective Moreno here.
Explaining the role would be okay, but not repeating anything else that would be hearsay.
Okay, you can continue, sir.
So during that briefing, they pretty much explained to me what my role was going to be and what they needed me to do.
Okay, and so based on that, what'd you do? What was your first step?
My first task was to establish contact with the suspect involved in the case.
Okay, and let's go back before you even made contact with her. Did you have to do anything to prepare for that initial contact with her?
All I pretty much had to do was give it a phone number, probably showed me a photo of what the suspect looked like, and they pretty much gave me details as far as what information that we were looking for in order to establish and confirm the validity of the case.
Okay, when did you first make contact with her?
I first made contact with her via phone, I believe the same day.
So would that be August 3rd?
Yes, it was.
And did you call from a police department phone? Where did you call from?
I called from what we call it's pretty much a drop phone, undercover phone that we use. We just go purchase it for the purpose of one investigation. That number is used for that investigation. After that, the phone and that number is destroyed.
And when you went to get that phone, do you take it out in your name, or you provided some kind of identification?
At the time, as a undercover operative, we were issued fictitious IDs, and I used one of my undercover name and IDs to obtain that phone.
And what area code did it have? Was it a 561 or somewhere else?
No, it did not. During that briefing, of course, one of the things that we wanted to establish was the hitman was coming from the Miami area. So it was important for me to get a phone number with a Miami area code.
And was it 305 or something else?
I believe it was a 786
Okay.
area code.
Okay. Now, when you were making contact with her, were those recorded?
Yes, they were. All the phone calls were recorded.
And how does that recording take place?
We use a recorder that has two microphones, one in the recording equipment itself, another one is in the earbud in my ear. So once I put the earbud in my ear, we can hear what the person is saying on the other line, and also the microphone on the recording device can pick up my voice.
Okay. To make this a little faster, may I first witness?
You may approach.
Thank you. Sir, I'm going to hand you what's marked as State's Exhibit 53, 54, 56, and 58. If you can take a look at these. Are those all recordings of phone conversations between yourself and the defendant?
Yes, they are.
And have you reviewed those statements?
Yes, I have.
And are they a fair and accurate depiction of your conversations with Ms. Dippolito throughout your role as an undercover agent in this case?
Yes, they all are.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would offer State's Exhibits 53, 54, 56, and 58 into evidence.
Any objection? Any objection to 53? I'm sorry, I can't even see Mr. Claypool. Okay.
Your Honor, we have a foundation objection to the approach.
Oh, yes, come on up. So 53, 54, 56, and 58 in evidence over objection.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, the state would ask permission to publish State's Exhibit 53.
You may publish.
Okay. Mr. John, I'm sorry, before we publish for a second. On August 3rd, what time was your first phone call with Ms. Dippolito?
I believe my first phone call was, I want to say approximately 2 p.m., 1400 hours.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, today's date is going to be August the 3rd, 2009. The time right now is 2:47 p.m. This is reference case number 38937, year is 2009. This is Detective Marino, ID 696. Go ahead. This is going to be a control phone call, reference the above case. Hey, can you talk?
Yeah.
All right. I got word. Give me your call, so I'm gonna head down your way. All right. I'm gonna need 3,000 up front. All right. I'm gonna need the key to your house. You heard me?
Yeah. Where are you?
All right. I'm heading out from Miami, and we'll be there in about an hour. All right.
Okay.
And we'll meet you somewhere for 95 by your spot.
Okay.
You live off Gateway, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'll call you when I get there by Gateway.
All right.
I
Thanks.
remember 3,000 key to the house. All right?
Bye. All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that phone call, were you asking her to bring $3,000 and a key to your house, or key to her house?
Yes, I did. I asked her to bring $3,000 and a key to her house.
And what was the $3,000 for?
The $3,000 was to prove payment for the act that she wanted me to commit.
And why the key?
The key to the house, it's to show intent that she wanted to go forward with the case, and she was willing to keep providing evidence and tools that I needed to commit the crime.
Okay, after this first phone call, when did you call her next? Was it the same day?
Yes, I called her again later that day.
And was that around 4:17?
Yes, it was.
Okay. You have permission to publish 54?
May publish 54.
Now, before we hear this call, what were you saying to her in this call?
During,
Objection, Your Honor. I think the audio that she's going to play is sufficient evidence.
Overrule.
Go ahead, sir.
during that conversation, I believe I was letting her know that I was nearby and I was trying to establish exactly where she wanted to meet with me.
Okay, go ahead.
Transcriber. Today's date is, I believe, 8/3/09, August 3rd, 2009. Time by my watch is 4:17 p.m., 16:17 p.m. This is a control phone call to phone number 561-703-9453 in reference to ongoing investigation by Detective Alex Marino.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hey,
what's up?
how are you?
About 30 minutes away. I had to do a little homework real quick, get some stuff together.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Okay,
Of course, sounds like it there.
okay, bye.
All right.
Okay, and when was the next call after that? Was it the same day?
Yes, it was the same day, about 30 minutes or so after.
Okay. Could it have been a little longer after that?
It could have been a little longer after that because I believe at the time we were prepping some of the things that we needed for the meet with her.
Okay, and the first two tapes that we've heard, you called her. This next call, did she call you or did you call her?
During the next call, I made an initial phone call, which was not successful, and then prior to me hanging up the recording, she was calling me right back. So I had to pick up right away because the recording was still going.
Okay, and in this next call, what was she talking to you about?
The next call, we talked about the exact location she wanted to meet. I told her what kind of vehicle I was going to be in and what kind of vehicle that she was going to be in. So she's sure that she's meeting with the right person, and I'm sure that I'm meeting with the right person.
Okay, so let me back you up for a second. You said that she directs you where to go. Where did you all meet? In person?
We subsequently met in the parking lot of a CVS pharmacy.
And who chose the location of the CVS?
I believe she chose the location.
And what kind of vehicle did you tell her you would be in?
I told her that I was going to be in a red Sebring convertible.
And what kind of vehicle it indicated that she was going to be in?
She said that she was going to be in a gold Tahoe.
Okay. Now, during this phone call, does Mohammed Shihada get on the phone?
Yes, he did.
And did you talk to him briefly?
Yes, I did.
And did you then ask to speak with Ms. Dippolito again?
Yes, I did.
And what exactly did you tell her when she got back on the phone?
I explained to her, at the time, I really didn't know who Mohammed was on the phone. I really believed that it was her cousin. And I assured her, I said, I understand you're with someone. When we get in my car, I wanted to make sure that you were not going to get in my car with your cousin, that you were going to be by yourself so we can have the discussion.
Okay, and was she in agreement with that?
Yes, she was.
Permission to publish 56.
You may publish.
Sorry. If I gave it to you.
Control phone call. Hey. The what? The CVS? The pharmacy? Alright, where that? Like, you talking about Congress and Gateway? Where that at? I was at a gas station off of, I think Wolfwright Road or something like that. Right. I'll go left or right? Okay. So how far down how far down Gateway is Congress? Oh, all right. Hey, I'm gonna be in this red car. It's a red Sebring, like a Chrysler. What kind of car are you gonna be in? All right. Who? You say your name, Mike? All right. Well, I'm gonna be in the red Chrysler convertible. You know, top gonna be on, but it's a Chrysler Sebring. What kind of car are you gonna be in? Gold Tahoe. All right. Hey, yeah, I'm by myself. Can I talk to her for a minute though? Yeah. All right. Hey, I know you got somebody with you though, but you know, once I get there, you know, he ain't gotta be in my car, right? This is gonna be just between you and I, right? Okay. I'll be there in 5 minutes. 15 minutes? All right, well, I'm gonna be over there hanging out. All right. All right, this will conclude the control phone call from phone number 561-703-9453, reference to ongoing investigation by Detective Alex Marino. Time by my watch is 5:24 p.m.
Okay, after that phone call, did you head to that CVS location?
Yes, I did.
And where exactly is that location?
The CVS pharmacy is in a public plaza located at the southwest corner of the intersection of Gateway and Congress Avenue.
And how far away is that from the Chili's that, well, strike that. Were you aware that prior to meeting with you that the defendant and Mohammed Shihada had met at a Chili's in Boynton Beach?
No, I wasn't aware of it at the time.
Are you aware of it now?
Yes, I am.
And how far is that Chili's from the CVS?
It's literally 500 feet away from that CVS location.
Okay, and since, okay, after meeting with her, did you learn her address?
Yes.
And what was her address?
I don't know the numerical exactly, but it was on Via de Pepe, like 10 or 16 something Via de Pepe.
And how far away is that from the CVS?
Barely quarter to half a mile, not even far.
And you're familiar with all these locations because they're part of your jurisdiction where you work?
Yes, they are.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
I'm going to hand you what's in evidence, the State's Exhibit 47A through M. If you can just look through these. There are a variety of different photographs. And is there a photograph in there of the CVS that would allow you to point out to the jury where you were parked?
There are two photographs in these photos that I can use to show exactly where I was parked at the time.
Okay, which is the first one?
The first one
For the
here.
record, he is referring to State's Exhibit 47B. You can hold it up for the jury and point to where you were.
This building represents the CVS pharmacy. I was parked in one of these parking spaces right here where I believe that white vehicle is in this photograph.
Okay, thank you. Now, this red Chrysler Sebring, whose vehicle is that?
It's the police department's vehicle. It's one of the undercover vehicles that we use for different operations.
Okay. And when you were in the CVS parking lot, to your knowledge, were there other undercover officers in the same parking lot conducting surveillance?
Yes, there were multiple other officers in the parking lot.
And to your knowledge, was the job duty of one of them or several of them to take photographs while you and Ms. Dippolito met?
Yes, it was.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 34A through DDD, if you can look at those.
Yes.
Okay. What do those photographs depict?
Those photos show the undercover vehicle that I used for the operation. They also show the vehicle the suspect was in when she arrived at at the location. It also shows the suspect getting out of her vehicle and entering my vehicle.
Okay, and do these photographs fairly and accurately depict the events that you personally witnessed and were part of, and the defendant as she appeared during your meeting on August the 3rd, 2009?
Yes, they do.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would offer into evidence State's Exhibit 34A through DDD.
Any objection to 34A, D through DDD?
Other than cumulative, Your Honor, no objection.
Okay. Overruled 34A, DDD in evidence over objection.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you real quick. I'm not going to go through every one. States 34A, is that the Chrysler Sebring that you were in?
Yes, it is.
And 34B, what is this gold Tahoe?
The gold Tahoe in the picture is the vehicle that the suspect arrived in.
And approximately how far did that vehicle park away from you when it arrived to the CVS?
Approximately 4 spaces away from my vehicle.
And were you there prior to her arrival?
Yes, I was.
I'll show you 34D. Is that her exiting? And 34E, is this her walking away from the vehicle?
Yes.
34F, is that the defendant?
Yes, that is the defendant walking towards my undercover vehicle.
So I'm going to show you 34H. Was that prior to her entering your vehicle?
Yes, that's the defendant approaching the passenger side of my vehicle.
And 34L, is that when she got into your vehicle?
Yes, that is the
Overall.
defendant entering my undercover vehicle.
And was there anyone that escorted her to your car when she went to meet you?
No, she walked over by herself.
Okay. We're not going to go through each one, but are a large majority of these photos while the two of you were inside the car?
Yes, they are.
Okay, I'm going to show you 34B. B. Who is this gentleman?
This gentleman, I later found out, was the informant. At the time of our conversation, I believe he was the cousin walking over to my vehicle.
Is that as close as he got to that car?
Yes.
And did he approach your side, the driver's side of the vehicle, or the side that Ms. Dippolito was on?
He approached the driver's side of the vehicle.
Okay, so this Chrysler Sebring, is it a two-door or four-door car?
It's a two-door vehicle.
And to your knowledge, was it wired for video and audio?
Yes, it was wired for both video and audio.
And do you know when it was wired prior to your meeting?
It was wired about maybe an hour, hour and a half prior to our meeting.
Okay, explain to the jury, what kind of video is this? Is it a big video, little video? What kind of camera?
That vehicle was one of the best vehicles that we had for wiring vehicles when it comes to making contacts, because it's a convertible. Essentially, the technician opens up the convertible and is able to get in there, drill a small hole the size of a button to put what we call a button cam. It's a very small camera that looks like the head of a screwdriver. It is hidden into the panel behind the driver's seat of the vehicle.
Okay, were there other similar screw holes in the vehicle?
Yes, there were.
So would it be fair to say that it kind of disguised itself, A, based on its size, and two, there being other screw holes?
Yes, it disguised itself perfectly because it's a vehicle that has screws, and you expect to be screws in some of the areas of the vehicle. So it just looked like another screw in the back of the vehicle.
Okay, and was this camera, and we'll see in a video, but can you explain where in the car it was? Front seat, back seat, left, right?
It was in the back seat behind the driver's side, behind the driver's chair, essentially, in the panel where, for example, if there was a passenger in the back seat behind the driver, wherever that passenger would put their hand in, their left hand, to rest on that side, that's that panel that we drilled a hole in to actually put that camera in.
Now, so we're talking about a camera. Was this entire interaction with the defendant caught on video?
Yes, it was.
May I present this?
Yes.
I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 57 for identification purposes. Do you recognize any markings on that?
Yes, I do.
And are your initials and date on there?
Yes, my initials and date.
And have you reviewed this videotape?
Yes, I have.
And does it fairly and accurately depict you and the defendant during your meeting in the red Chrysler Sebring on August 3rd, 2009?
Yes, it does.
There been any alterations or deletions?
No, there have not been.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would offer State's Exhibit 57 into evidence.
Any objection to 57?
Objection, foundation, Judge.
You guys need to approach. What was the exhibit number again, Ms. Lord? 57 in evidence over objection.
While Mr. Williams is doing that, I'm going to ask you a few more questions, okay? Did you exit the Sebring prior to Ms. Dippolito getting into the car?
No.
And what was her demeanor when she entered the car?
At first, she was looking around, but eventually she was calm and collected, and she was pretty much giving me all the instructions that I needed.
Okay, I believe you said you've been a police officer collectively for 12 years?
Yes.
In your 12 years as a law enforcement officer, have you dealt with investigations or people who are scared or have been threatened?
Yes, I have.
And have you observed their body language and their demeanor as they're going through that fear or that intimidation?
Yes, I have.
And did Ms. Dippolito exhibit any of those similar indications?
No, she did not.
Okay, so did she appear to freely get into your car?
Yes, she did.
Okay. How were you dressed that day?
I was dressed in baggy clothing. I believe I had a long black t-shirt on and some baggy pants.
And was your hair different than it is now?
Yes, it was. At the time, I was just growing a set of dreads to fit better into my undercover role.
Now, did you have a weapon with you?
Yes, I did.
Did you ever show her that weapon?
No, I did not.
And was it concealed?
Yes, it was.
Did you ever threaten her off tape that she had to go through with this?
No, I did not.
She said off tape, overruled.
Go ahead, sir.
No, I did not.
Now, to go back for a second, I just asked you about Ms. Dippolito's demeanor. When you're both sitting in the car, and we'll see some on the video, but the bottom half of her that we can't really see, was she positioned in a body language way that was open to you or closed off to you?
Initially, it was closed off to me as if someone didn't want to talk, but as we went on, she opened up. She was comfortable.
Okay, so what'd you do when she first got into the car?
When she first got into the car, expecting that most undercover role, the people don't want to open up and don't want to talk. So in that case, for that day, I gave her a compliment based on her looks, which kind of helped into get her to calm down and open up later on.
What'd you say?
I told her she was beautiful.
And what was her response?
Overruled.
She smiled and said, "Thank you."
Now, was that an icebreaker? Did she then open up to you?
Yes, it was. She gradually opened up.
Okay, did she ever seem, throughout your conversation with her, did she ever seem hesitant to talk to you?
No, she was not.
And did she freely offer you information?
Yes, she did.
Okay, you're in permission to publish?
You may publish.
57. Thank you.
Hey, we're staying in here, right?
How about, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, you look good. You have to go there. You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay, yeah?
Okay. No, I'm good. Just got, took a little while to get here. I just want to make sure you're all right.
No, I'm fine. I came with my cousin, that's why.
All right.
I guess.
Yeah, I saw that. I figured, despite an illness, so, you want to take your precaution, no matter what, relax. We're just going to talk.
Okay.
We're going to talk, get some stuff out the way. You know?
All right, cool.
All right. Okay. First thing first. 3,000. And then I'll do my thing. All right. And I just got to know a little bit about the news. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna do it and what exactly is gonna be done. All right. And if you got recommendations, what you want, what you know about him. Dude, is he your husband or something? Boyfriend? Your husband? How many have been married? No, for real, because the thing is, after I talked to you today, his phone, garbage.
Okay.
You won't be able to get a hold of him. I just want to make sure that, it's what you want.
No.
All right. Okay. Because, you know, I'm here on word. I'm doing my dude a favor, and, you know, and I'm lowballing. The price is really, really low. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure that, you know, this is what you want. All right? So you sure you want to kill this dude?
Do we really have to?
All right.
You know, it's just, I'd rather be as less, you know, whatever with you.
All right. All right. I know I got a picture. I looked at a picture of the house, whatever. You know, I know y'all got an alarm system.
We have alarm, motion detectors, and camera.
What's the company that monitors the alarm system? It's not one of the common.
No, it's not like
Not
a main,
AT&T
no, it's
or-
not like a main company or anything like that.
So it's a smaller company.
Right.
All right.
But the thing is, like, in the middle of this week, he's going to be somewhere, and so I wanted to talk to you and see if
Where is he gonna be?
something can possibly, you know what I mean?
Well, all right. So you don't want it at the house?
I'd rather, if I wanted to talk to you and see if it's something, you know what I mean, at that place, if you could do something like that, or if it can't be done and, you know.
Well, that's the thing, which is why, you know, I want to know as much information so I can plan, you know, because I've already started planning as if it's going to be in the house, which is why I asked him for the key for the house. You know what I mean? Because my thing was it's going to be a, you know, in and out, you know. If you're not comfortable, there's a lot of people that are not comfortable with me with keys in the house, all that kind of stuff, you know, like a lot of personal information. You know what I mean? It'll take a little while while I get in, you know. I don't care about the alarm system, I just got to know who it is, you know. And because a lot of times, you know, whatever I get from whatever money I get from you, most of it goes into, you know, planning and getting people to do stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just the way it is.
How soon can we get everything going?
Well, it's up to you.
I mean, I need it done like this week, but like my understanding of everything was that like, you know, I was going to give you what I gave you, and then that was everything. Until after the fact. And then after the fact, I guess you were going to come and like find me or whatever, or you were going to tell me like where it was supposed to go. That's why like today when you asked me for money, you threw me off guard, and I told you okay.
Oh, right.
I said to you, oh, okay, because, you know, I'm not going to get on the phone with you, whatever, like, over, you know, but,
Okay.
I mean, I'm good for it. Like, it's not like I don't have it
No,
or
I-
anything, or, you know what I mean? Like, I understand your position. Like, I went ahead and I gave 12 with the understanding that after everything was already handled, you were going to come and find me, and, I mean, I know not to fuck around with you, you know certain things, whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, you obviously know where I'm at.
Well, my thing is that I'll give you a quick breakdown of what I've done so far. You know, I got $1,200 from the, all right? $1,200 went to buy my heat, my gun, okay? And a couple hundred, you know, for other people to do things.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. As a matter of fact, I've already spent more money, you know, just to get here.
Right.
You understand? Because I have to get this car, I got to get rid of this car, I have to get this phone, I got to get rid of this phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot more I have to do.
I know. But, like, I told you, like, I can't keep coming out of, like, I've come out of pocket a lot for, like, a lot of
that's
other
fine.
things.
That's fine.
But you know what I mean? Like, I can't get into it, like,
No,
or whatever.
that's all right. Go ahead, that's all
So
right.
it's kind of like, you know, I'm in the position where, like, I told you, like, I'm good for it. Like, the day that you needed it,
I
you
know
know,
you are.
it's like I came, I met that day, it was handled. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of person that I am.
Okay.
Today, you threw me off guard when you called me at, like, 2, and it's not like, you know what I mean? I have it stashed under my pillow.
I do. Because I was going to make quick. This is what I'll do, okay? This is what I'll do. I don't have to collect anything, because I was going to take half of me today and then half when it's all done. That was the plan, you understand? You know, if you want to do it in the back end, you know, you might want to have to collect maybe 1,000 or more. You know, top 2, you understand? Because I have to spend $1,000, you know, between today and tomorrow, okay? If you want it done, because I was thinking, if you want it done tonight, tomorrow, or the week, I understand. I could get it done by Wednesday if you want me to. You understand? But I got to do my homework, you know? I got to, you know exactly where the place is and how to get out of there, how to get in and out, you understand, what the neighbors want. I got to call the cops, you know, report a shooting to see how fast they get to that location. There's a lot of stuff I got to do. That's going to cost me a lot of money. So I got to buy a phone to do it with and then burn the phone later on. There's a lot I got to do.
Right, so what can we
But no,
do?
I don't mind. You ain't got to do it now. As a matter of fact, you know, you can leave the thing. You can leave, you know, my payment at the house. If you want to do it at the house, he says he's going to be somewhere this week. If you want to do it somewhere else, then I have to meet with you, you know, later on for cash. Understand? But you know, you let me know. You give me a day. You give me a
So how are
time,
we
give
gonna
me a
do it?
target.
So if we go ahead and we do it, like, at the house, like, how soon could you do it? And
I
what
could
time
do it
are we looking at?
Wednesday morning at the house, because I was looking in the newspapers here, there's been a lot of burglaries in this area. All right, it's not uncommon for someone to break into a house. Okay, it's gonna be like I break into the house, didn't think he was gonna be home because everybody works in the daytime.
Right.
I'm gonna think he's at work. Boom, he's not at work, then he gets two in the head. That's it. I take a couple things with me, break a couple windows, make it look like a robbery that went bad, and it's all over. I'm gone out of there. You understand? I'm not gonna be by myself. I'm gonna have other people watching my back, doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? Does he have guns in the house?
No.
All right.
He's right now he's on probation, so there's a lot of people that don't like him.
All right. What's his name?
Mike.
Mike. All right. Okay. Now, all right. So that's how I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Robbery went bad. That's the thing. Okay. Now, once that's done, I'll wait a few days. I'm not going to call you right away because the police are going to be all over this motherfucker. Understand? The police are going to be asking you questions, although they know it's going to be obvious what it is, and they already know. You know what I mean? But, they're going to ask questions because that's how they got to do it. Okay? But I give you maybe 1 or 2 days, but I'll be in contact with you. You know what I mean? When it's all done, and then I get paid. Understand? All right. Let's see, I got a couple things that I ask you. Now, this dude here, you with, how much does he know about this? How much do you trust him?
He's my cousin, and, it's like, he's the one who, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, because I know you talked to my man, and,
Right.
My man said he's good. You know what I mean? I'm just saying for you. You understand? Because I don't know how well you handle pressure. You understand? I don't know, because I don't want...
No, I'm not gonna, I'm a lot tougher than what I look. I know you see me, and you're like, oh, what a cute little girl, whatever. But I'm not.
You are. You're beautiful.
Thank you, but, I just need to make sure everything's gonna take care of.
All right. Okay. So, you paid me back end. How much are you paying me?
What do you say back at
Okay, when it's all done. I was going to get $3,000 from you today, and
Right.
$3,000 when it's all done.
Right.
Okay? Since I'm not like to look at once, just throwing maybe $1,000 more. $1,000 or $2,000.
Alright.
Okay, do 7 or 8 on 10,000 once it's done.
Just 7, is that okay?
Okay, 7 cash. Okay. All right. Now here's the thing. That's why I want to ask you again. All right, this phone after today, until I get a hold of you, after it's all done, you have nothing to get a hold of you. You understand? Okay. Don't try to call me. Even if you call me, this phone is going to be working. You understand? If I need any more, information. Okay. What's the name of the development? Okay. All right. That's what I thought it was. Like Bunch Tall Hill.
Yeah, it's right over there.
All right. Okay.
That's why I wanted to meet you here, so that then you could see, you know what I mean?
What's the house number?
Now, on Wednesday, he's leaving.
He's leaving on
He's
Wednesday?
leaving Wednesday.
What time is he leaving
between
Wednesday?
8:15 and 8:30 in the morning.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to know, like, do you want to come to my house Wednesday, or do you just want to, you know what I mean? I don't know what kind of scenes you do, whatever. He's going to be going to the bank on Wednesday. I don't know if,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if that's too public for you, or if that's
what's he doing at the bank?
he has to pull out money for his business partner.
Oh, he's not gonna, okay, so he doesn't have any money at the house now?
He's like hard cash. He's going and pulling out the money because he has to make it look like it's coming from an account from his business partner.
Okay.
Like a business account.
How much money?
He said he's pulling out, I think, around 10.
That might even be better. He's got
That's
some
what I
thousand.
was telling
Okay.
you. He's
All
going
right.
into the bank on Wednesday and he's pulling out money. Like, I know what bank he's going to.
What bank is he
In
going?
Boca. Are you familiar with Boca?
I could find out.
I know exactly
I've
which
worked
bank
in
he's
Boca
going and I
before.
know what time he's going to be there. If he'll be there early, he'll be there when the bank opens.
Okay. All right, what's the name of the bank you're going to?
So, the bank that he's going to, he's going to Bank of America.
In Boca? You know where exactly that
Yeah,
is?
I know exactly where, what time, everything.
Okay.
So I don't know if,
Well, I
the
gotta go.
problem with this, though, is that from where the bank is to where the partner's office is, it's literally, like, next door to each other.
Okay,
Like, he's
so
going to have to get back in the car to go there. I know where the office is at and everything like that. Like, I could show you where everything's at.
his office, his apartment?
Yeah.
All right.
But now I don't know if that's, like, too public for you, or...
Well, I mean, yeah, I could do it like that, but it is public. I'll get the money. But the thing about it is that it's a harder getaway. If it's in Boca, how close is it from like I-95 or something?
You're closer to the turnpike.
The bank is? Bank of America. What
Yeah.
road is it on?
441.
441. Close to the turnpike's good too. Because I need somewhere to get out fast.
Right.
Okay. Turnpike. What road is it on?
It's on Glades and 441.
Where's in 441? Bank of
There's
America?
the Bank of America there in a shopping
And
center.
where's his partner's office at?
This is 441. This
Yeah.
is Glades.
Yeah.
441 is here, the bank is here, and then the next building over on 441 is where the partner's office is.
Okay, so the partner's office is actually on 441, it's
Yeah.
not Glades.
Exactly.
What's the name, like, the business?
But it's in a building, like I can get you the building number and everything like that. I know where everything's at, but like the exact...
First floor,
like,
second floor, or anything like that?
That's what I
Okay,
don't know.
all right, he won't make it to the building. And he's leaving the house by 8:30, he's gonna go get $10,000.
Yeah.
All right.
At that bank though, he's leaving our house and then going to both and doing
That's
it.
the bank.
That's
All
why
right.
I thought that like...
What kind of car does he drive?
He'll probably be in that Tahoe right now.
What, it's his Tahoe?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
He'll probably be in that Tahoe and
That's better.
he has a Porsche that I'm pretty sure he's going to be in that Tahoe.
Okay.
And he just had surgery, so, you know, I'm pretty sure he'll be in the Tahoe.
It's like taking money from a kid. All
So
right.
what I was thinking is that that would benefit you because obviously, like, you know what I mean?
No, either or. The thing is, it's more risky doing it in public like that, but I don't mind. I just gotta,
That he'll have it for sure because the friend texted him, the partner texted him, when are you coming?
Okay.
And then from there, I know where he's going right after that. But he won't have the money anymore. He's going from the bank to there, and then that's it. You're not going to catch him anymore with money.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. If I don't do it now, because the thing is, I don't want to get greedy, but the fact that he only has $10,000 on him, I'm interested.
Exactly.
And it's only gonna make it look like he has more reason to be robbed because of that amount of money.
Right.
Right. And they're probably gonna suspect the partner because the only partner knows he's gonna get that.
Exactly.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna try to change my plans a little bit, and then try to do it with the whole bank thing. If I can't come through with it by Wednesday, then it's gonna have to be at the house. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm more interested in that additional $10,000 I'm gonna get from him. You know what I mean? Because that's not gonna come out of your pocket.
So what do you need then? Do you want to go ahead and drive by that area and like scout it out, or what are you trying to do?
Right now?
Yeah.
No.
He's just smoking because I'm not letting him smoke in the truck.
Right. No, I think I'll find out. As long as I know where the bank is, as long as I know what car he's going to drive, I know I'm going to have people following from the house to the bank.
Right.
All right? And then he's going to be on.
Because you know he's going to have it. That's what I'm saying to you. It's like,
All right.
you get him at the house, it's like, it's like, but,
Right,
I mean,
right,
I
right.
have nice shit at my house, but still, like, if you go and you know
He
what I
doesn't keep
mean?
any, large amount of money at the house?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay.
No, so you're better. I mean, nobody knows. Everybody, when you come to my house, you
Right.
think, you know what I mean, there's a lot of money there, there's a lot of stuff there, whatever.
Yeah.
But in reality,
All right. Okay.
the only thing would be, if you, like, leave with the fucking Porsche or something. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, I hear you. All right. Okay. I'm gonna plan that way, and I'm gonna plan it with the bank. The thing is, you gotta understand, because after today, I can't get a hold of you. If it doesn't work out the way I'm safe, or the way I'm comfortable with it at the bank thing, it's gonna have to be at the house. I just wanna make sure that you're not gonna be home, and no one else is not gonna be home.
Well, you gotta tell me. Like, okay, are we looking at Wednesday morning, or are we
Yeah,
looking at...
Wednesday's the day I'm gonna go for the money. If the money doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to do it before then. You know what I mean? Like I said, I have a small window, at the house or the money. If I don't get it by the money, then I'm done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I won't even get paid.
Right.
Because, so that's my way. It's a short window, so I gotta have people up here.
So Wednesday, he's leaving 8:15, 8:30.
8:15. Are you gonna be home?
He wants to be at the bank when the bank opens at 9.
Okay.
And then he's gonna go and see...
Okay. Can he walk from the bank to is it like walking distance, or you got to drive to the partner's office?
No, he's gonna get in the truck and drive.
Okay. All right.
He'll get in the truck and he'll drive.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. Okay. Let me see. I got one more thing for you.
So what I wanted to say to you is that I wanted to make sure, like, for example, like, okay, this shit doesn't happen Wednesday, Thursday morning, for example, you don't come and I'm there,
At the house?
Right, like, I want to be sure, like...
No, if I listen, if it doesn't happen by Wednesday,
I'm not going.
all right, I'm not coming. What I'm going to do is that if I don't get it done, you're going to get your money back. If it doesn't happen, and if it doesn't happen by Wednesday, I'm going to have to call you from another phone and, tell you a whole different plan. You understand?
Okay.
But I'm not gonna do anything that you don't know of. You know what I'm saying? You're the client. I'm not gonna, do anything without your approval. You understand?
Right.
So,
You know Wednesday, I told you where he's going to be, and then you need to know where he's going to be after he leaves the partners,
yeah.
or no?
Where's it gonna be at?
He has a dentist appointment right across the street at like 9:30, 10 in the morning.
Okay, Thursday. And at that point,
So he's going to be like
is he leaving town Wednesday? You say he's going somewhere. You leaving town or?
No, that was it.
Okay, all right. Then he's gonna come back home.
Right, then he's going to come back.
He's definitely not coming back home with the money. Partner's gonna be with.
No,
All
he's
right.
meeting the partner, and then from there he's going to...
Okay, all right. I'm gonna try to do the focus because I've been planning for over here. Just I gotta do my homework and come
No,
back.
that would
and
be
do
ideal because it would make it seem like that's the reason why.
Right.
No, I'm okay.
I'm good. Thanks, man. All right. Nice dude. All right. Wednesday. Okay. $10,000, right?
Yeah.
And bring y'all. All right. It's gonna be in that car. And Mike. And so you just had surgery with?
His back right here.
All right. Okay. So he's not gonna be able to move that.
He won't be able to, like, I mean, he walks fine and everything like that, but I mean, it's going to be like a little bit of a struggle.
Okay.
He wears here, like all this here, all these here are like tender points.
Okay. All right. Okay. If it's not done by Wednesday, then I'll call you. If it's done by Wednesday, the only thing you're going to hear from me is to collect, all right? Which is why I said that, between now and when it's done, you're not going to have an option to change your mind. Even if you change your mind, I'm talking to him.
There's no changing, there's no, like, I'm determined already. I'm positive, like, 5,000% sure, like,
Okay.
I was stressing when you told me you were going to come up here, and then I'm, like, looking at the time, I'm like, what's the fact? He's not coming, he's not this, it's like, all this stuff or whatever. Like, no, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Like, as soon as he told me, listen, I need the money from you, I went, I grabbed it right away, like, we were good to go. Like, with me, you're not going to have a problem, you're not going to have an issue, you know what I mean? Nothing of nothing, I just...
Do you have any money on you right now you could afford or anything? You don't have to, I'm just saying.
I didn't bring anything.
Okay, no big deal. It's all right. Okay, so, about the key to the house?
I have that, but I didn't make a copy of it. Because I wanted to talk to you about Wednesday to see if Wednesday was going to work out better than,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Wednesday's going to work out
Then coming
better.
to the house, because the thing is that I didn't want to say over the phone, but like I told you, I have cameras. They don't record, but I have cameras on the front and in the back, and then I have the motion detector.
Yeah.
So it's like even if you go with the key, the sensor's going to go off, and then he's going to see like on our TVs, you know what I mean? Exactly.
Okay.
So I didn't want to suck you up either, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean, have an issue.
Okay, what floor is it on? Is it on a first floor or?
There's 3-story townhomes. When you walk in, it's an office.
So, all right, so the whole 3 stories is you guys?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
The whole 3 stories is us.
All right, but you got the key with you? I just want to see what kind of key it is.
It's just a regular, like, I have it in the truck because
You know the name of the, I could, it's just, I don't want, right now I'm planning for the bank thing, just saying, at the last minute, the bank's not going to work out, I just want to make sure that, I get it done, you know what I mean?
Right.
I have to say, fuck the money, I just want to get the job done,
Right.
understand?
Well,
So,
I mean, he walks the dog in the morning, and when he walks, every morning he's walking the dog, like, at a certain time, we leave our front door unlocked.
oh, perfect. And are you going to be home Wednesday morning?
Wednesday morning, yeah, unless you tell me otherwise.
All right. Okay. Do you go jogging in the morning? You go to the gym in the morning?
I was going to the gym, yeah. I mean, if I go tomorrow, it's not going to look weird or anything. It's
Okay.
like I go to the gym on a regular basis.
All right, Wednesday morning, go to the gym.
Right.
All right, because if I can't do the bank thing, then I'm going to have to do it at the house. I don't want you at the house.
Okay.
Understand?
Around 6:30, 7 o'clock, he
Yeah.
always walks the dog in the morning.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he walks the dog across, like, over where the lake is, and our door is always unlocked.
I'll be in the house by 6:30 Wednesday morning.
Okay.
6 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, if you
All
decide
right.
that you're not going to do the...
Well, that's the thing. Listen, by the time you get back from the gym, you're gonna find 2 things: a dead body in the house, all right, or nothing.
Right,
Okay, if it's nothing, then it's gonna be the thing.
right.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow then. But then when I go Wednesday, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
But remember, always the dog 6:30, 7 o'clock, he's always
Walking the dog.
walks the dog.
Okay. Just make sure you're at the house by 6 o'clock in the morning Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and then you know what to
I'll be over there. I'll make sure, I'll watch you walking out the house. Just want to make sure that.
You're going to get there earlier and everything like that.
Earlier. I'll be there early in the morning. I just didn't think I thought it was going to be about 9:30, 10 o'clock thing, but since it's going to leave the house by 8:30, then I got to be here. I got to be hours before.
Right.
Make sure it's all done, so.
And then, too, worst case, he's going to be at the bank and that's
At the bank, Glades Road, 441,
Yeah.
Bank of America, right? $1,000. Okay.
All right.
All right. Anything for me?
No, I mean, we're good, right?
We're good.
You don't need to know anything else, or you're okay?
I think I'm good.
Okay, and then how are you going to know where I live if you decide that you're going to go to the house?
Yeah, you just told me. What's the house number? I think I saw the picture. I saw the picture.
But it had a whole bunch of house numbers. You know which one mine is?
Wait, which one's the house number?
It overlooks the lake.
What's the number?
1329.
1329? Okay. All right. 1329.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a swim by there right now.
All right.
1329. Looks at the lake, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the name of the road there? Like what is it, the DS something? Okay, just go through
Yeah.
there.
You're going to, what is what you're going to do? Oh, so you already went by?
Yeah, I went through there. That's what I'm saying. That's why, look at it. You're saying,
Okay.
1329.
Right.
What's the exact address? 1329 what?
It's right there. You're going to see it. Which way are you going to go?
I'm going to go into, I think the first one. Now, this one right here is the first one down.
Okay, you're going to go down the first one, make a left,
Yeah.
and then there's going to be like a one-way ramp. Keep going,
Right.
and then you're going to U-turn.
Okay, what's
And then
the
it's going to be on the right-hand side, be at the Pepe.
Yeah, that's all right. That's what it was. Yeah. 1329, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much, and I guess
You'll hear from me.
I'll hear from you.
All right.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, so in this video, was she giving you an alternative to doing the hit in her house?
Yes, she did.
And was that what she was talking about, the bank at Glades in 441?
Yes.
Now, was that ever part of any plan that you had when you were briefed on this, the bank?
No, it wasn't.
Overruled.
Go ahead.
No, it wasn't. We didn't know about the bank until she brought it up.
Okay. And it's hard to hear some of the things she's saying to you. Was she indicating that you could take the $10,000 that he would be pulling out?
Yes,
Overruled.
Go ahead.
yes, she indicated that I can take the bank as a form of payment also.
Okay. And what was she telling you about an alarm system?
I wanted to find out if the house was alarmed as far as, if it was a monitored alarm, because the plan was for me to break in. And if an alarm existed, an alarm was being monitored, and I needed to be aware of that. So she was telling me that there was an alarm, but it wasn't monitored.
Okay. Now, you talk about 2 in the head. What does that mean? Change it to 57A.
I explained to her that on Wednesday that it was going to happen, and when she returned home, she was going to find him dead or there'd be nothing at all. And I explained to her that what I was going to do is break in and make it seem like it's some sort of robbery, or the house is being robbed or burglarized. And then the victim, her husband, would be walking in while the crime was being committed, and he would get 2 in the head, and the whole thing would like a robbery that went bad.
Okay, so 2 gunshots to the head.
Yes, 2 gunshots in the head.
Did she flinch at all when you said that?
No, she did not.
Objection, best evidence.
Overruled.
Okay, we talked before about Mohammed Shihada walking up to the car. We talked about that with the photographs. Who had she told you that he was?
She told me that was her cousin.
Now, there's discussion of $7,000. Did you talk to her about a price?
Yes, we discussed the price. During the previous phone calls, I told her that I want her to bring $3,000. And the plan was for me to get $3,000 from her that day and then get $3,000 after the whole thing was over. So when she didn't bring the $3,000, I explained to her that, well, the price would go up. If she's going to pay me everything at the end, it would have to be $7,000.
Okay. What was she saying about stealing his Porsche? Or taking the Porsche?
We discussed what kind of car the husband was going to be in during the bank thing, and she explained that there are two cars. There was that Tahoe, the gold Tahoe, and also the husband owned another Porsche. And then she explained that the husband was definitely going to be in the Tahoe because he was very protective of the Porsche.
Was she saying anything about, if you did it at the house, taking the Porsche?
No, she did not indicate for me to
Okay.
take the Porsche.
And then what was she saying about surgery? She points to her back. What was she talking about?
She was talking about the physical state of her husband, that he wasn't really going to put up a fight because he recently had surgery, some sort of surgery around his back.
Okay, and she stated that she was 5,000% sure that she wanted this done. Did you see any hesitation in talking to her in her plot?
No, there was not. At the time, I was trying to give her a way out, explaining to her that after this conversation, my intention was to break any contact with her. So if she changed her mind after today, she wouldn't be able to get a hold of me to tell me, look, you know what, I don't want this done anymore. So I gave her an opportunity to say, look, if you don't want this done, now's your time to tell me you don't want this done. And in return, she told me that she was 5,000% sure that she wanted it done.
To go back, we talked before about body language and her demeanor. Several times throughout this, does she appear to be batting her eyes or something at you?
Yes, she did. Batted her eyes a few times.
Did you take that to mean anything, or does that indicate anything to you?
I really didn't interpret it in a way where she was trying to. I initially thought that she was trying to be some, sexy or something, but beyond that, I didn't interpret it to be like scared or anything like that.
Okay. All right, so where we saw this video end, she gets out of the car, is at the termination of your contact with her on August 3rd.
That was my last physical contact with her, but we had one additional phone call after that.
Okay, and was that a phone call on August 4th?
Yes, it was.
And what time did that, that's not in yet. What time did that call take place? Around 2 o'clock?
Yes, I believe it was around 2 p.m.
Yeah, first one.
Yes.
Machine with Martha Stacy said it's 58. Can you look at this, are those your initials and the date on there?
Yes, they are.
Okay, and have you reviewed this?
Yes, I have.
And does it accurately depict your voice and the defendant's voice in the conversation you had on August 4th, 2009 at 2 o'clock?
Yes, it does.
Any alterations or deletions?
No, there was not.
Your Honor, this time the state would offer State's Exhibit 58 into evidence.
Any objection to 58?
Proper foundation, Judge.
Same objection as before, Ms. Roosevelt?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Overruled. 58 in evidence.
Permission to publish?
Over objection. You may publish.
Thank you.
And in this tape, before we hear it, what were you telling her?
During that
Overruled.
Go ahead.
During that conversation, I was relaying to her that the secondary plan in regards to the bank was not going to work, and the initial plan to actually commit the murder in the house was going to happen, and she had to be out of the house by 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Did she agree?
Yes, she did.
While he's pulling that up, do you see the person that you sat in this car, had these telephone conversations with, and the conversation in the car that we watched on video? Do you see her in the courtroom today?
Yes, I do.
Could you identify her by an article of clothing she's wearing?
It's a young lady.
Can I take the list of identification, Judge?
Ed Essie, go ahead.
I'll let him go and identify. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The young lady with the gray sweater and maroon or red top.
Does the record reflect the in-court identification of the defendant?
Record will so reflect it's also stipulated.
And sir, did everything you testified to occur in Palm Beach County?
Yes, it did.
Thank you.
Transcriber. Today's date is August 4th, 2009. Time by my watch is 14:01, 2:01 p.m. This recording is a control phone call to phone number 561-703-9453 in reference to ongoing investigation by Detective Alex Marino.
Hello?
Hey, you got a minute?
Yeah, give me just 1 second. Hold on.
All right.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tomorrow morning. Anything's not gonna work. Check it out. It's no good. So,
Okay.
you gotta be up by 6.
Okay.
All right, make sure you're out by 6.
Alright, I will, okay. Alright, so let's shoot the God bless.
All right?
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Bye.
May I have a moment with Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Officer John, did you ever have any occasion to meet Mike Dippolito?
No,
Okay.
not prior to that or during. It wasn't until after the whole thing was over.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Sir, may I approach the witness room?
Yes.
I'm going to hand you what's in evidence of State's Exhibit 76.
Judge, would please see that before she hands it to the witness?
Yes.
This is a photograph of the person you later learned to know as Mike Dippolito.
Yes, it is.
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
Can't see you back there, Mr. Claypool. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Ready to begin cross, or?
I think we can do it and finish before lunch.
Okay, fine. That's what I want to know.
Just, can we approach about one really quick thing?
Sure. Claypool, anytime you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Is it Mr. John?
Mr. Jean, yes.
John, okay. I apologize
Good
because I'm
morning.
referring you to Mr. Jean, but I apologize for that.
I'll take both of them. Thank you.
Okay. I hope you, being in court testifying is probably the worst thing you want to do when you're not feeling good. But so appreciate you being here and hope you feel better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The videotape that Ms. Laurie played for the jury that showed Dalia Dippolito in the car with you, at some point shortly after that was posted on YouTube, correct?
I believe so, yes.
So that videotape was posted on YouTube by the Boynton Beach Police Department while the criminal investigation of Dalia Dippolito was still pending, correct?
Objection beyond the scope.
Overruled.
Yes, I believe so it was.
And that would be against Boynton Beach policies and procedures, correct? You should never be posting undercover videos of a person you think is going to kill somebody while an investigation is pending, correct? That wouldn't be a good thing.
The policy states that if anything has to be released, it has to be approved by a commanding officer and above. So I'm not sure if it was approved or not.
And you're not aware of any committee or anybody at Boynton Beach PD who approved this undercover video that we just saw being distributed on YouTube, correct?
No, I'm not aware of who approved it.
Video went viral too within a few minutes.
I believe so, yes.
Do you think, you seem like a very honorable police officer, do you believe that distributing a videotape of an undercover operation like that on YouTube while the investigation is pending for the world to see might compromise the investigation?
In my opinion, it might not. If the undercover phase of the operation is over, then it's a moot point.
Right. Did you arrest Dalia Dippolito right away after the video encounter with her?
No, I did not.
You said earlier, I believe, that giving you the house key by Dalia Dippolito would show intent to commit the crime. Do you remember that?
Yes, I did.
All right. And Dalia Dippolito never gave you the house key, correct?
No, she never did.
And wouldn't also payment be an indication of one's intent to kill?
Yes, it would be.
Right, great. And you asked Ms. Dippolito to bring $3,000 to pay you, correct?
Yes, I did.
And isn't it true that Ms. Dippolito never gave you $3,000, correct?
Yes, it is.
Now, I wanted to be a little bit clear on what time of day what's a good way to describe it? I don't want to say encounter, but get together with, how would you describe it?
It's a meet.
Okay, meet.
Yes.
What exact time of day did this meeting occur on August, was it the 3rd, 2009?
Yes, I believe so. It was during the afternoon,
But I mean,
mid to late afternoon.
but Miss Laurie played you some phone calls, and I believe one of the calls was at 4:56 p.m.? Is that right?
Yes, one of them was, yes.
So how long after the last phone call you had with Miss Dippolito did you actually physically meet with her in the car?
I believe after the last phone call where I was establishing exactly where I was, and I told them that I was at a gas station on Woolbright, which is about 3 to 4 miles from the location. So we met essentially 30 to 45 minutes at the most after that.
Okay, so that might have put us around 5:45 p.m.? Is that fair?
Yes, 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m.
Okay, great.
Approximately.
All right, so as I recall, the first phone call you made to Miss Dippolito was at 2 o'clock, right?
Yes, it was.
And I believe in that first phone call that you made to Miss Dippolito, you said, I'll meet you in an hour, correct?
Yes, I did.
All right, so you didn't meet her in an hour, right?
No, I did not.
You ended up meeting her 3.5 hours later, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there was a delay in her getting together with you, right?
Yes, there was a delay.
So, and during that delay, she ends up having a meeting with Mohammed Shahadi, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And that meeting took place right before she then comes over to the CBS, right?
Yes.
Didn't that strike you as being a little odd?
It's not odd at all, actually.
Well, did you know why I'll withdraw the question, I'm sorry. Did you know, just so I'm clear, did you know on August 4, 2009, that Mohammed Shahade was the confidential informant?
That day, no, I did not. I didn't know who the confidential informant was during the operation.
And I'm not picking on you, but don't you think that the Boynton Beach PD should have told you who the confidential informant was?
No, they're not required to. They don't have to identify them because of the policy in regards to confidential informants.
Did you ever speak to the confidential informant at any time prior to meeting Ms. Dippolito?
I spoke to him briefly on the phone to describe the kind of vehicle where we wanted to meet.
I'm sorry, to describe what?
The kind of vehicle they were in and where we were going to meet. Literally about 10, 15 minutes prior to us meeting.
So I'm a little confused, though. You spoke to somebody who you believe to be the confidential informant?
At the time on the phone, I didn't know he was the confidential informant. After later he was identified as a confidential informant, I later know that's the person I spoke to on the phone.
And so just so I'm clear, as of your meeting with Dalia Dippolito, you had no information at all from the confidential informant, correct?
No, I did not.
How long did this, you called it a briefing, with the Boynton Beach PD take place before you were assigned to this meeting with Dalia Dippolito?
It was approximately about 30 minutes. We briefed on the case.
And did the briefing include anything about communications between the confidential informant and Ms. Dippolito?
The briefing entailed, the lead detective told the group that we have a confidential informant and this is what we know so far and this is what we've done so far in regards to the case.
All right. And how far again was the Chili's restaurant from the CVS? You said about 500 feet?
Approximately distance. It's literally the CVS pharmacy is in the plaza at the southwest corner, and then directly across on the other side of the intersection is the Chili's.
It was about 500 feet?
Approximately.
That's not a long distance, is it?
No, it's not.
That's clearly walking distance, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. So didn't it seem a little odd that Ms. Dippolito shows up in a vehicle with this gentleman named Mohammed Shahade in the car with her? Such a short distance?
No, it's not odd at all.
Well, he stayed after, just to be clear, Shahade, you saw this gentleman you later learned to be Mohammed Shahade in the car with Ms. Dippolito when she arrives at CVS, correct?
Yes.
All right. Did you ever see Mr. Shahade leave?
A leave from where, sir?
From where the meeting was with Ms. Dippolito?
Yes. At one point, Mr. Shahade approached my vehicle and asked us if we wanted anything because he was going into the CVS pharmacy. So I continued my conversation with the suspect as I believe Mr. Shahade went into the CVS store.
You saw the video earlier, right? Did you ever, I'm sorry, you didn't answer. Sorry about that.
Yes, I did.
At one point, did you see Mr. Shahade in any portion of the video?
He was not in the video per se, no.
You never saw him outside the car?
I saw him in
Video?
I saw him in photos standing
Pardon?
out. I saw him in photos standing outside the car to smoke and right before he approached my vehicle.
And you didn't think anything of it, that he remained on premises while Ms. Dippolito was meeting with you?
No, he was far enough away. I didn't think it posed any problems.
And were you concerned at all that there was a 3.5-hour delay in you first calling Ms. Dippolito and you meeting with her?
No, I wasn't concerned because we wanted and needed the delay at the time.
You needed more time?
Yes, because at the time the undercover vehicle was not ready. We needed time to put all the cameras and everything in it to get it ready for the operation.
They weren't ready? What was the big rush? Was it the Cops TV show?
No, the TV show at the time had no involvement in setting up the actual vehicle. It was done by police officers.
Well, you met with, Boynton Beach PD met with cops on August 4th, 2009, correct?
I believe so. I wasn't there. I can testify to that.
So I was just wondering whether the rush to get this video done and to get Ms. Dippolito over there to meet you might have been related to wanting to make sure to get some good videotape for the cop show. Is that possible?
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay. And Ms. Dippolito never gave you her address either, did she?
Yes, she gave me her address in the video.
I thought you had gone out and researched the address.
During the conversation, she realized that I didn't know where she lived, and honestly, I really didn't know where she lives at the time. And she told me, did I go by the house? Do I know exactly where she lives? And I got caught in a lie. I'm like, no, I don't know. What is your address? And then in the video, I said, because when she pointed towards the neighborhood, I know one of the streets in the neighborhood, majority of the streets in the neighborhood starts with Via. They're Via Fabrini, Via something, since I know the area. And I said, is it Via something? And she goes, oh, yeah, it's 13 something Via de Pepe. And that's how I found out what the address was.
You would agree with me, Mr. Jean, that you got to have the keys to the house to kill somebody, right?
Not necessarily.
All right. This video that we saw that was posted on YouTube, it's still on the Boynton Beach PD website, correct?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen it there.
And all of the phone calls that the jury heard earlier, you initiated all those phone calls, correct?
Not all of them.
And just to be fair to you, there was one phone call by Ms. Dippolito to you, but that was in response to your phone call to her, correct?
Yes, it was.
So would it be fair to say that all the phone calls made on August 4, 2009 were initially initiated by you?
Yes. In order for it to be a controlled phone call, I have to initiate the control conversation.
Well, a suspect can call you too, and then you could set up you could say, hey, I'll call you back, and then set up the control call, correct?
It is possible, but what we usually do is we try to stop communication because as undercover officers, we try to document everything. For example, if I'm operating with a phone number and I'm home at 11:30 p.m. that night and I get a phone call from the suspect, I'll turn off my phone or ignore it because every conversation we try to record it. And we try to make sure that the recording equipment's ready before I can answer that conversation, that phone call.
But from the time that you were first assigned as the undercover officer on this operation, isn't it true that Dalia Dippolito not one single time ever called you to initiate anything, did she?
Not during the time that I first made contact with her.
Okay. Would you agree with me that, let me back up, and I apologize if I asked you this. When did you first learn that Mohammed Shahadi had met with Dalia Dippolito at Chili's? Is it after the fact?
Right, it was after the fact, yes.
That's what I thought. Thank you for clarifying that. In retrospect now, being an honorable officer as you are, don't you think it would have been important for you, because you're the guy doing the undercover, to know what had transpired between Mr. Shahadi and Ms. Dippolito in that Chili's restaurant?
No, it wouldn't be that important.
You know, if you've later learned Mohammed Shahadi is the confidential informant, correct?
Yes.
You find out that he's meeting with Dalia Dippolito in the Chili's restaurant just before meeting you, correct?
Yes.
And you don't believe that would be important to know what they talked about?
Objection, asked and answered.
Overruled.
It's not important simply because that during operations like that, we'll all have a duty. My duty was the undercover officer, meet with the suspect and obtain a certain list of information. So essentially during the operation, I have a mental checklist of things that I need to do. Anything else that happened outside that scope is the responsibility of other officers. For example, unless my safety is at risk or in jeopardy, that information is not necessary for me to know at the time.
That's a fair, I think that's very fair. Do you know whether the meeting between Mr. Shahadi and Ms. Dippolito in Chili's restaurant was recorded?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Do you know if Ms. Dippolito might have been pressured by Mr. Shahadi inside the Chili's restaurant to go forward with this?
Objection calls for speculation, self-serving.
Approach for this one.
Perfect, you're saying. All right.
Approach.
Mr. Jean, I'll rephrase the question for you.
Yes, sir.
Putting aside your duties, because you made it clear you're focused on the undercover operation, and I respect that. Don't you believe that the Boynton Beach Police Department in general should have known whether during that meeting between Shahadi and Dalia Dippolito, whether there was any coercion or pressure placed on her?
I'm not sure if they should have known that or found out later. I'm not sure.
And then just to be clear, on August 4th, so that now we're the day after the meeting at CVS. Are you with me on that?
Yes.
Yeah. You are the one then to initiate the phone call to Dalia Dippolito, correct?
Yes, I was.
All right, so at no time did Dalia Dippolito pick up the phone between the time that you all left the meeting at CVS to the next day in the afternoon on August 4th, 2009, correct?
Correct.
I thought I heard Ms. Dippolito in one of those phone calls say, "Today threw me off guard." Do you remember that?
Yes.
So, I was going to say being a lay person, but I guess I'm a lawyer in this case, so I apologize for that. But when I hear that comment, to me it signals that the person's surprised. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yes.
Okay. As a police officer, do you typically place surveillance on a suspect that you believe is going to kill somebody?
Yes, we do.
You do, okay. Did you place any surveillance on Dalia Dippolito after she left your vehicle on August 3rd, 2009?
I personally did not know.
Would you know of anybody at Boynton Beach Police Department who placed surveillance video? And just to explain to the jury, surveillance means you hire somebody to watch somebody 24/7, correct?
Surveillance means different things. Surveillance doesn't have to be long-term. It can also be short-term. For example, during a meet, when we actually meet with a suspect or an informant or anything, you always have an officer as a backup for both safety or surveillance. So someone just watching and documenting that meet. It could be short-term surveillance. It could be long-term surveillance. Long-term surveillance could be I'm sitting here all night watching a house to see who's coming in and out. Short-term surveillance could just be I'm just covering a meet that takes 30 minutes, and after that I move on to something else.
So the purpose, thank you for explaining, the purpose of surveillance is to make sure that somebody you believe might kill somebody doesn't kill somebody, right?
That's
Well,
not.
that's one of the purposes.
That's one of the purpose. Yes.
Great, okay. And isn't it true that at no time prior to the cops, folks filming, showing up at Mike Dippolito's condo, did anybody from the Boynton Beach Police Department ever deploy any surveillance on Dalia Dippolito? Isn't that true?
I'm not sure if it's true or not because I wasn't aware exactly what time and when they found out that the intention for the crime was ongoing. So I'm not sure if they found out the day of, a couple of days before or not.
And by the way, did you ever sign a waiver form to appear on the Cops TV show?
I may have signed a waiver somewhere along the line. I really don't recall physically doing it.
Your Honor, I'm just going through my notes.
Fine.
I'll finish up within a few minutes. Maybe not. Okay. And I apologize. Believe it or not, this actually makes it go a little quicker when the lawyer looks through his notes real quick instead of continuing to ask questions. Just a few more questions, promise. If Ms. Dippolito had been threatened by Mr. Shahadi in the Chili's restaurant just before meeting you, wouldn't that have compromised your undercover investigation?
If we knew for a fact, meaning we had evidence, physical or tangible evidence that the person had been threatened, yes, it would have compromised our conversation.
And do you believe that, well, let me withdraw that. If that meeting, 45 meeting between Mohammed Shahadi and Dalia Dippolito at Chili's restaurant was not recorded, might that have also compromised the undercover sting operation?
The fact that a meeting was not recorded doesn't necessarily mean that it will compromise the conversation.
Well, the purpose of recording a meeting between a confidential informant and a suspect is to ensure the integrity of the investigation. Fair statement?
Yes, also for the purpose of documenting evidence, also to later show in court.
Exactly, because then we don't have to guess or speculate about what might have transpired between the confidential informant and the suspect, correct?
Yes.
And just to be clear, you told Ms. Dippolito before meeting with you on August 3rd, 2009, to bring the money, correct?
Yes.
And to bring the house keys, correct?
Objection, asked and answered.
Yeah, I'll move on, Your Honor.
okay.
Probably is true. I'll move on, no problem. I think I'm through, sir. I appreciate your time today. I hope you feel better.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Redirect?
Sir, I think I want to make sure that we're correct on the times. On each of the recordings that we listened to in court and that you authenticated, would it be accurate to say that there is a Detective Moreno on that tape stating the date and the time?
Yes.
So if on those tapes he states that the first call was at 2:47, would that be the best recollection of the time?
Yes.
And if he says that the second call with her was at 4:17, would that be the most accurate thing to rely on?
Yes.
And if he says that the third call between you and the defendant right before you met at Chili's or at CVS was at 5:24, would that be the most accurate thing to rely on?
Yes, it would be.
Okay. And you were questioned about the cops' video or a video being posted on YouTube. To your understanding, was the undercover portion over prior to release of that tape?
Yes, the undercover operations were done at that time.
And to your understanding, was she actually already under arrest before that video was released onto YouTube?
Yes.
So the entire investigation, including the undercover portion, were over before this was ever released?
Yes.
Now, as far as the money, she didn't bring money to the meeting,
No, she did not.
but had she provided $1,200 previously for you to purchase a gun?
Yes, she did.
Now, you were asked...
Objection, no personal knowledge, Judge. Will we approach?
Yes.
Okay, so the $1,200 that was previously given was for the purchase of the gun.
Yes, it was.
Now, you were asked about the distance, and you say the distance was approximately 500 feet between the CVS and the Chili's. Could someone walk that distance?
If you want to, yes, you could.
Is this area of Gateway and Congress a busy area?
Extremely, yes, it is.
And let me clarify my question to you. Is when I say busy, is it heavy car traffic?
Yes, there's a lot of heavy car vehicle traffic in that intersection.
At any time during the time that Ms. Dippolito was in the car with you, did she appear scared?
No, she did not.
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled.
Did she appear that she was being coerced to say the things that she was saying to you?
No, she did not.
Answered on direct.
Overruled.
And was she pushing you to do this at the bank?
Yes, she was.
And you were asked about surveillance of of the defendant. Just to clarify, in this plot, were you the one that was going to kill?
Objection, counsel testifying, Judge.
Overruled.
Were you the one that was, the plan was, and her plan with you was that you would conduct the hit or that she would conduct the hit?
The plan was for me to conduct the murder.
Thank you. No further questions.
You may step down. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I apologize.
Oh, you're fine.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is break for lunch this time. I appreciate you working a little bit late with us to get the witness on and off, so we'll take our break now. I won't need you back. I'll give you an hour and 20 minutes for lunch. I won't need you back then until 2 o'clock. Please, as always, do not discuss the case amongst yourselves or with anyone else. Do not do any research. Do not listen to or read any news accounts of this trial. Have a pleasant lunch. We'll see you back at 2 o'clock. Council may be seated. Anything we need to do before we break? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. If you would just, pursuant to Your Honor's directive the other day, ask the state to let us know who they intend on calling. I had asked this morning, I didn't get a response.
Who do we have this afternoon, do you know?
Ms. Owens may need to go discuss it in our office of exactly what our plan of attack is right this second.
So you don't know who you're calling?
It's possible we could rest. We're debating that right now. So we're at odds.
With each other? or what?
Yeah.
It's his fault.
Okay, well, if there were any remaining witnesses, who would they be? Let's just put it that way. They may or may not be witnesses, which means you need to be prepared to start.
Your Honor, we need jail calls, but jail calls.
Jail calls. Someone have to authenticate them, I'm assuming.
Your Honor, on a bigger picture, does the state have an idea when it might close so we can start planning our witnesses?
They said maybe this afternoon.
Okay, it's definitely going to be,
All right.
it's going to be shortly.
Okay.
But I would have appreciated some notification last night after court. I've been trying to coordinate with all of our witnesses. Some of them have childcare issues.
Start coordinating. I mean, if it looks like we might be starting the defense case sometime this afternoon, get with your witnesses, see who you can get here.
We'll do that, Your
I'll try to get them in. Thanks, Judge.
All right, anything else? Oh, by the way, Mr. Rosenfeld, did you read that case you cited to me on oral interception and videos?
Yes, Your Honor.
You still taking the position 934 applies to video?
Yes, Judge, it applies to the video if and only if there's an audio recording within the video. Now, to my understanding, speaking to an officer from Boynton Beach Police Department, that the audio that the state had played in that CD was not from Mr. Shihadi's wire. That was from the actual recording on the video camera. That would be a different position had the video camera not had any audio on it and it was just recording the interaction, and the audio recording was from the wire. I mean, the case law is clear. If I can grab the case real quick, Judge.
Talk of the 4th DCA case you cited to me.
Yes, Your Honor. It specifically says that the statute regarding civil actions for interception and disclosure of wire or electronic communications did not allow for civil actions for attempted interception and thus did not violate statute by placing hidden cameras to record activities of other doctors where the audio recording capabilities of cameras did not work. I mean, the clear...
I'm going to cut you off, okay? This isn't even a close call. That case stands for the proposition that Chapter 934, which was adopted from the federal wiretap statute, applies to the interception of oral communications. It does not apply, and that's what the case holds specifically, it does not apply to video. Regardless of how the oral communication is captured, whether it's through a video camera or simply a listening device, that requires consent because it's an oral communication. The images themselves, the video, is not covered by Chapter 934. That's what that case says. That's what I thought the law was. It's crystal clear to me under this case that you cited to me that it does not include video. There was consent for the oral communications. No consent was needed for the video because it's not covered by Chapter 934. That's what this case specifically holds. It doesn't matter what type of device is used to intercept the oral communication, whether it's a video or whether it's just simply a recording device. That is covered by the statute. The video is not covered by the statute. That's what that case says.
I mean, they're clearly drawing a distinction here, Judge, where they add the condition where the audio recording capabilities of the cameras were not...
They're making reference to the fact that there was no recording. If there was a recording, it would have been a violation of 934. That's why they're saying that. The mere filming is not a violation. Had that filming included audio, it would have violated the statute. That's what they're saying. They go on to specifically say that Chapter 934, adopted from the Federal Wiretap Act, does not cover video. It covers oral communications. That's the purpose of it. You don't have to consent when you walk out of here and there are cameras in this courtroom and it's filming you. It doesn't apply to the mere filming. It applies only to oral communications. That's what that case says.
I have a different interpretation. I agree that if I walk out of here and I'm just being recorded by video cameras that are not, or that do not have audio recording capabilities, then yes, I am not protected by that statute, by the Florida wiretapping statute. I think Your Honor is 100% on point about that. But the moment that device does in fact capture audio recording, it falls under the statute.
Correct, because there's an audio recording. You have to have a consent for the audio recording, which there was.
What
You
you're
don't have to
finding-
have, you don't,
finding is there was. I mean, our position.
well, yeah, you took the position it wasn't voluntary. I made a ruling on that. But yeah, if I'm wrong about that, then there was no voluntary consent. But assuming consent, this case is crystal clear. It's consistent with what I believed all along the case law to be on Chapter 934. It's not even a close call, Mr. Rosenfeld. I need you to carefully read these cases before you cite them to me. This does not support at all the proposition that you are trying to advance it for. It's crystal clear. If you look at the other cases, it's crystal clear that 934 does not apply to surveillance of any kind. It's only if there's an oral communication. Do you have a potential violation of 934? And if you have an oral communication, there must be consent or it violates 934. That's the clear law in the state of Florida. So, I mean, if this is being advanced in order to buttress the argument on the motion to basically suppress based on consent, candidly, I'm not going to take any further argument on it. That's denied. I don't think 934 applies to video, only to audio, and there was a consent for the audio. All right, we're in recess. Pardon me? For what purpose?
I asked a question to Jay for the Judicial Relations Committee. I don't know if you got them. It'll take 30 seconds.
Oh, you did? Okay. You wanted to get with me about...
30 seconds every time is left.
Yeah, if you want to speak about bench bar, or what did you want to... Okay, come on up. Yes, this has absolutely nothing to do with the case. It doesn't have to be, does not have to be on the record.